Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy.
Failure is normal. Freedom is time controlled. Hi, I'm Adrian J, and in this video, I'll be covering 3 more lessons from the book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Lesson 1. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, putting yourself out there. Keeping money requires humility, knowing that what you made you can lose just as fast. It therefore requires frugality and acceptance that some of it is due to luck, so don't rely on past successes.
The author tells the story of 2 investors. Jesse Livermore, who was worth $100 million at the age of 30 in 1907 as a professional trader, and was lucky and skeptical enough to bet stocks would decline just before the great stock market crash in October 1929, named Black Monday, Tuesday, and, believe it or not, Thursday, and as a result made $3 billion during the worst months in the history of the stock market. The other unfortunate investor was Abraham Dramansky, who was a multi-millionaire real estate developer. During the booming 20s, he bet heavily in the stock market and lost it all in the 1929 stock market crash. Arr. The story takes an unexpected turn with Jesse Livermore, who gets bolder after surviving the initial crash and makes larger bets, taking on larger debts until eventually losing it all in the stock market.
We can't assume that yesterday's success translates into tomorrow's good fortune. The author therefore recommends being financially unbreakable as more important than wanting big returns, since if you are unbreakable, you will stick around long enough for compounding to work wonders. The other point that the author makes is to expect your plan may not always go to plan. When held up to the scrutiny of reality, a plan is only useful if it can embrace the unknowns and emphasize room for error. The more specific of the plan you need to be true, the more fragile your financial life becomes. For example, if you left room for error in your savings rate, such as the market returns 8% a year over the next 30, but only does 4% a year, I'll still be okay. The other point the author stresses is the yin and yang between optimism about the future and being paranoid about what will prevent me getting to the future. You need short-term paranoia to keep you alive long enough to exploit long-term optimism. He argues that sensible optimism is a belief that the odds are in your favor, and over time, things will balance out to a good outcome, even if what happens in between is filled with misery. Lesson 2. Failure is normal. It's normal for a lot of things to fail. An investor can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune.
The author describes the luck with the art dealer Heinz Braguin, who sold his art collection to the German government for more than 100 million euros with a private market value of over $1 billion. And that out of that small subset of great investments, the vast quantities were duds. The author points out that we tend to focus on the big event like the well-known Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs cartoon that earned $8 million in 1938, which put Walt Disney on the map. But rarely do we talk about the 400 cartoons prior that lost a fortune.
A tail event is an outlying 1 in thousands or millions event and is often the source of something huge, profitable, famous, or influential. Therefore, with the advantage of the tail, the author argues a good investor can do the average things when all around them is going crazy. They know it's normal for things to go wrong, break, fail, and fall. No one makes good decisions all the time. The most impressive people are packed full of horrendous ideas that are often acted upon. Lesson 3. Freedom is time controlled. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, is priceless. The author points out that money's intrinsic value is the control you gain over your time to obtain independence and autonomy that comes from unspent assets that gives you a greater control over what you can do and when you can do it. 6 months emergency expenses means not being terrified of your boss because you know you won't be ruined if you have to take some time off to find a new job. Also, more money means retiring when you want to instead of when you need to. Controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll be covering the 3 other key lessons from the book, The Psychology of Money.